The biggest sale of the year is happening now at Big O Tires. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free on select tires in stock. That's 2 free tires when you buy an alignment and tire protection package. That's 50% off tires at Big O Tires. It's going on now, but it all ends soon. Buy 2 tires, get 2 free at all participating Big O Tires. Installation additional, plus shop fee of up to 10% of non-discounted retail price, not to exceed $35. Hurry, sale ends Monday, December 23rd.
Hey, it's Blair. Hey, we have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns we have to offer. And it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. For your convenience, your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. A lot of subscription services won't tell you that. They'll just sneak it on there. We just told you. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening. Vlatko Andonovski said it right off the top. Anything less than winning is not good enough. That's the only approach for the new coach of the U.S. women's national team coming off its second straight World Cup championship. Kansas City's Andonovski will guide the team made up of some of the world's best players like Megan Rapinoe, Carly Lloyd, Alex Morgan, and Becky Sauerbrunn. He sat down with star columnist Vahe, Gregorian, and Sam Mellinger and host Blair Kerkhoff on SportsBeat KC presented by Big O Tires. It's Friday, December 20th. Andonovski spoke to the challenges of taking over for Jill Ellis and how his soccer life was shaped first in his native Macedonia in the former Yugoslavia and for the past 2 decades in Kansas City. He played and coached for the Comets, the indoor team, coached youth soccer, and the city's pro team, FC Kansas City. While this was happening, he graduated from Park University. So here's Vlatko Andonovski along with Sam, Vahe, and me. Vlatko Andonovski is our guest, and I guess the first order of business is to say congratulations. Fantastic news when you were named head coach of the U.S. women's national team.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all the support. Kansas City has always been behind me in my whole career, and I'm glad I got this job. I'm excited about it. You
got to be. Hey, Vahe, Gregorian, and Sam Mellinger are here along with me, Blair Kerkhoff, and it is Thursday. We're taping this on Thursday. We always do truth in advertising here, and I got to say, first off, Vlatko, that when someone becomes a coach or a head coach or takes over a team or an organization, it's often because the team didn't have much success. It's they change at the top and maybe change the fortunes of the team. That could not be less true in your case. You have become the head coach of perhaps the most dominant soccer team in the world, the U.S. women's national team, coming off its second straight World Cup championship, and it really captured America's imagination this summer by winning in France. So, well, how do you? I mean, what do you do? I mean, how do you maintain the excellence of the team that you're taking over?
Getting into this job was not easy. Obviously, lots of pressure. Anything less than winning is not good enough, and especially it's not because they won this summer. They wanted the 4 summers before that, so they've been on top for a while, and it's not easy to stay on top for as long as this team has stayed, and it's not easy to stay on top even longer than that. But I was very well aware of the challenge, and that's what excites me, that I can do something that has never been done before. I can go and maintain this and make them even better. And one thing that has never been done, this team or no team in the world has ever won Olympics after the winning a World Cup. So, I mean that's the first step that first challenge that I wanna overcome. That's the first success that I wanna have with this team, and then keep on evolving from there, keep on developing and improving, and hopefully stay on top for a long period of time.
And before I forget, I was remiss in saying Jill Ellis is the person that you succeeded, and all she did was win 107 of her matches with, I think it was 19 draws and 7 losses.
Yeah, Jill Ellis did an incredible job, and it's not easy to come and step into this role after someone like Jill Ellis. I mean, she built an empire, and it's, like I said, it's not easy. That's where the pressure comes from. But in the same time, because she was so good at the job that she did, actually leaves a team that is already organized, disciplined, has a good structure. So leaves a team that will make my job easier some ways going forward.
And you mentioned the Olympic qualifying. That's next, right? That's in January, Olympic qualifying.
Yes, January 28th, first game in the group stage, and then semifinal and final are February 7th and 9th in LA.
And it's CONCACAF. Is it 2 from CONCACAF that qualify for the Olympics?
Yes, 2. The basically the finalists.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's, and because we talked about the World Cup success of the United States, there's a little bit of a redemption for the Olympics in 2016, I believe.
Yes, 2016 was not a good Olympic year for U.S. And I would say for U.S. because it was still a good Olympics, good showing. Unlucky in the quarterfinal, lost to Sweden, and now hopefully we're going to be able to do well. I mean, needless to say, my first game was against Sweden at home. It was a good test, so it was good. It was exciting.
Well, one of the reasons we're thrilled to have you here is because of all of your experience in Kansas City, not just with the professional team that was here, but with the Comets, with the youth soccer that you coached, the ODP, the Sporting Blue Valleys, Futura, all the names that I'm familiar with because my kids went through the youth soccer programs in Kansas City, and as will Sam's will. I just, so it's sort of a general question, but and probably too many tentacles to it. But I'm wondering how your coaching philosophies and just learning how to become a head coach was shaped by some of your experiences in Kansas City. Let's start with the Comets and your years with the Comets.
Yes. Comets. I would start with playing with the Comets. Obviously, I was learning from good coaches, Zoran Savic at that time, who is now with Sporting Kansas City, and then I became assistant coach to Comets. Kim Rundfeldt, indoor legend, was coaching. It was a great experience, and it was in one way learning the game, but in another way learning the coaching approach, the coaching philosophy, the leadership. Guidance. I mean, there's so many things that I could learn, and I'm sure that I'm still learning. So from there, I went to coach FC Kansas City, and one of the coaches on the team was also Hugh Williams, who later on became general manager. I mean, he became my mentor in a way, not as much as on the technical side, but more so on managing the team, managing the personalities, managing the players with individuals. So that was so. If I look back, there were so many people that had influence on my coaching career. I'm just glad that I was always surrounded by good people, by good leaders, by good coaches. And I was blessed with good teams as well.
You could have landed anywhere in the United States when you came here. You landed in Wichita. Tell us about that story.
So the story actually in Wichita is very interesting. I was in Skopje, Macedonia, and my best friend was playing for Wichita Wings, Dino Delevsky, who we know was one of the indoor legends as well, one of the best players to ever play indoor. So he called to wish me a happy birthday. It was my birthday, and he asked me to come in Wichita and join him. At that point, I had no idea what indoor soccer was. And when he explained, I said, Dino, I'm sorry, but I don't know how am I going to explain here to my family, media, tell them that I'm leaving this game. Like at that point, I was playing for some of the youth national teams, and I was on the B full national team. So I felt like I was doing well. And I'm like, how am I going to tell someone that I'm going to go and play soccer with walls? It was, I mean, they'll think that I'm crazy. So that's how that all came about. I came to see it. The selling point was you're gonna love it so much. We play the indoor game. The defenders are involved in the play so much that you will absolutely enjoy it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna come and try for a few months. It was the off season, and I said I'll try it for a few months and then I'll go back. And after those few months, I just signed. I fell in love with the game and signed a 3-year contract, which the Wings folded, and I made Kansas City home.
And that's how you end up coming to Kansas City. The Wings, the Wings folded, and so the team that you played for here in the early 2000s was a successful team.
It was a very good team. I mean, some of the players that were on that team were amazing. It was an absolutely great experience. And we mentioned Dino Delevski, one of the best players in the indoor game that I've ever been around. Then Goran Hunjak, I mean that's an indoor legend as well. Incredible person. He was kind of my mentor in the indoor game, and he taught me a lot. It was a pleasure having him around. Alex Dotinka managed to play. I mean, he went on to play for the Wizards and I believe Chivas. So Chivas USA. There were so many good players at that time. That was just. That was incredible. I mean, it was just good experience. I enjoyed it.
And you stayed you remained in the organization. Started your coaching career with the Comets.
So after a while, the Comets folded, and when they came back, I was very excited. I mean, I was a Comets guy. It was the game. It was the team that opened up a lot of doors for me and helped me build lots of relationship and helped me establish myself in Kansas City, and it became a home. Kansas City became a home for me. That was it. When they came back, I was so excited that I wanted to be involved in any way possible. And I went to the owners and I said, I want to help. I want to help in any way possible. I mean, I hope I can coach, but if not, I want to be volunteer coach. I want to be anything. And actually, they asked me to be assistant coach, and I coached for free. I said I'm fine with anything. I just want to coach, and it was great. I mean, it was the relationship with Kim was amazing. He's been incredible for me and with me throughout this whole time. But those first few years were absolutely amazing.
You won a championship as a head coach.
Yes, that was my first year as a head coach, and that's a story for itself. We were underdog. Nobody expected us. Obviously at that point, young coach coming in for the first year, and it felt like everything clicked at that point in time. So it was a good story, and it was a good beginning.
Yeah, that's a pretty good beginning. Win a championship for first time out.
Yeah,
I've read where it was just a matter of how things developed that you ended up coaching females first. I wonder if you could reflect on how you got started with that, and would you have ever guessed that you'd go on to coach at this level with women?
Yes. So I mean, in some way, I was always coaching on the female side more than on the male side. I mean, I was coaching girls in youth soccer a lot more. I only coached one boys team for a very short period of time, but all those years, like I don't even know, 10, 11 years, I was just coaching girls teams. And like I said, I was blessed with some good teams, good group of players, and we were fairly successful. And when I say fairly successful, I'm not just saying successful winning games, which we did. We won the youth national championship, and we won I don't know how many state cups. So we were good. But what we were good at, we were good ambassadors of the game. We were growing the game. We were good example of a team that is good on the field, but is also good off the field. I mean, all those players now all of them ended up playing playing collegiate soccer. They all graduated, and some of them are masters, taking master's degree now. Some of them have good jobs. I mean, it was a good experience for me.
And had you grown up not seeing a lot of girls playing soccer? I mean, it was new to you when you came here.
I can say it's not that I haven't seen a lot. I've seen none. So it was shock. First time actually when I saw it, when I was in Wichita, and my friend Dino was coaching a team. He said, "Hey, you want to come to this game? I'm going to coach. You want to see it?" Like, sure. So I went to this complex, and there were more fields with girls that were playing than boys. So I just kept going around watching the girls. So I remember they was like, "Did you come to see me and the team or the other teams?" But it was so exciting for me to see all those little girls playing soccer. It was great. It was brilliant.
When you were coaching at that level, why was it important to develop them? As people too, and not just their game.
I mean, not many of them are going to become professional soccer players. Not many of them are going to be Megan Rapinoe and Alex Morgan and Carly Lloyd. But we all have to have career after a game if we don't become one of them. And it was important for me that they're good people and that they become good leaders, good citizens. And like I said, I'm just happy that every single one of them I can go back to and look at them, and I know that they're going to be successful in their lives. I mean, we develop them as people. We develop good characteristics. They're all disciplined. They're all organized. They're all hard workers. They're all committed to what they do. They're loyal. So those are traits that you can develop through playing sports.
So I've got to ask you this.
Oh my gosh,
I'm gonna.
I can tell now.
So maybe I should mention I first met you 15, 20 years ago. So when I was with the Comets, right?
Yep.
When you got this job, somebody sent me this story from 2003 that I did with you and Dino, and I don't know if you remember this, but this quote just jumps out to me. In light of your current job, you said, "In Macedonia, they say soccer is a man's sport. It was really weird when I came here to see girls playing soccer. The first couple times I saw girls playing soccer, I just stopped and watched for a while. Everything is so different here. When I came here, I was very excited, but also a little nervous. Now, to tell you the truth, it's been even better than I thought it would be." Hopefully you're not going to tell me that I misquoted you. But do you remember sort of that process? I guess I'm underlining Vahe's question a little bit, but was it right away that it clicked coaching females? Did it take a while for you to? I mean, it is different from how you grew up, right?
No, I mean it wasn't like difficult by any means. Actually, it was exciting. Like I was so happy to see how good they are and how well they do. And now after reading the quote, I mean that's in line with what I was just saying earlier. Yeah. That I literally would stop and just watch them, and I enjoyed watching them play. Yeah. And maybe without even knowing, that's how my love for coaching females developed. That they're doing so good and just as good as the young boys, and some of them better. I mean, it was great. It was. I never in my life thought like, okay, I want to be a coach, but I want to coach men or I want to coach female. But
sure. Maybe
inside of me, something was always shaping me in a way or helped me drift towards the female side.
Yeah, that's cool. I also wanted to ask you this, you just talked you came to Kansas City basically by chance, right? It just as easily could have been Nashville or Chicago or LA or anywhere else. But you stayed here by choice. And sometimes we were just talking off air, you're coaching Seattle, but you're still living here. What is it about Kansas City? Why was it so? I mean, it is important for you to stay here.
It is extremely important for me to stay in Kansas City. I absolutely love Kansas City. I love everything about Kansas City, and I consider myself Kansas Cityan. I love sporting and in Comets, and like I said, I was this morning at the Comets practice, and I'll go and check out sporting, and I love the Chiefs. I love Royals. I mean, I love everything about Kansas City, and even. After playing for the Comets, I ended up playing for Stockton after Comets folded. So I played for Stockton 1 year, played in Philadelphia, and so I was Midwest, West Coast, East Coast, and we decided no, Kansas City is where we want to be. And since that point, we we knew that this is where we fit best. We love the community, love the people that we're surrounded with, and I mean, I can't pinpoint one thing like because of this. It's everything about the city, and I mean, we're gonna be here, as far as I know, for a long time.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, good time to take a break, and when we return, we'll be back and talk a little bit more about the women's national team and the challenges that are ahead, and some other topics as well. And now we're back from a break. We're talking to Vlatko Andonovski, who was kind enough to join us today with Vahe, Gregorian, and Sam Mellinger on SportsBeat KC. Vlatko, we spoke in the first part of the show about the challenge of the Olympics, and that's the next big event for U.S. women's soccer. The women's team this summer became rock stars. Right? I mean, Megan Rapinoe was she Time?
Time, I think.
Sports Illustrated.
Sports Window. It's
But
right.
the team is one of them, too.
She got them all.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Yes, deservedly so. She got them all.
And that means you, as a head coach, which you certainly have had experience there, you're going to not only, coach a team tactically, but also manage personalities, and you prepared for that.
Yes, I've had a chance to work with Megan Rapinoe for 2 years, Ali Long, Becky Sarvan, Lauren Cheney. I mean, Heather Riley. Those are all superstars, rock stars. I mean, they're all great players. One thing that I know about every single one of them is they all want to be the best version of themselves. And if they see that you can offer something to help them get better, and you care about them as individuals, as soccer players, and developing as soccer players, they'll do anything. They're true professionals. They live their lives for this game, and it's actually, in fact, it's easier to work with them than any other players.
Why is that? Because of their focus, or
yeah. The mindset is just amazing. That they have this growth mindset that they always want to try new. They always want to get better. Like if there is something at any point in time that I say you could do this in different way and it will make you a better player. That's it. That I don't have to say anything twice. You'll see them work on that over and over and over until they master it. I mean, I always say there's a reason why they are where they're at, and it's not just the talent. It's that the hard work, the dedication, the mindset, the resilience, the grit. I mean, they're special breed. I mean, they're amazing to work with.
Vlatko, I'm sure you'd feel confident and comfortable taking this job, even if you didn't know them all so well. But how different do you think it is for you with this feeling of having the relationships and having worked with so many of them in other capacities?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely helps. Just because not every one of them is motivated in the same way. They do have the inner motivation, and they do things on their own. But also, there are certain things that motivates them. Some of them just want to be told. Some of them want to be asked to do or asked to perform in a certain way. Some of them they just want to see a video of them not doing well. Some of them want to see video of them doing well. So, knowing them or having a chance to work with some of them will expedite the process of adjustment or transition into the national team.
Are there any, I'm fascinated by this, Blair touched on it a little bit, but just your job, that team has a global profile in a way that few teams in America have, right? Maybe like the Dallas Cowboys or the Lakers or whatever. I'm just curious, like, how much of your job is dealing with that in any way, or blocking it out or whatever? I mean, because fundamentally soccer, right? But the U.S. women's national team is a little bit different.
Yes, the federation does an amazing job in terms of supporting myself and the team logistically, and they do a great job of providing for us in a way that we can focus on the game. Obviously, there's so many other things that we have to and we want to deal with, but when we're at work, then it's all business. And like I said, the federation has all kinds of departments that help us out in terms of that. Obviously, I'm sure you already dealt with our communication department. They're very good and professional in terms of how they screen and choose the right type of interviews and proper amount of interviews that we do, not just personally myself, but also the players and photo shoots and all that kind of stuff. But we also have other support mechanism that we use, whether it's from well-being, high performance, analytics. There's so many other things that we're provided, so we can deal with anything that is thrown our way.
Yeah. Vlatko, along those same lines, it's an incredibly exciting job, but it must also feel like a great responsibility. When you got the job, did you have to think through all that feeling too, or did you just go and do your work?
I thought a lot before I got into this whole thing. Like, what does it mean? What does it mean for me individually? What does it mean for my family? What is it going to take for me to be successful? There are so many things that I analyze, because I knew I'm getting into probably most stressful coaching job in the States now, because anything less than winning is just not acceptable, and which is fine. I mean, I'm not getting into the job. I knew that, so there's no surprise. But in the same time, like I said, it's exciting. At the end, it's the best team in the world. I mean, who doesn't want to coach the best team in the world?
And as you're speaking, just a couple of thoughts occurred to me, one of which is your timeline in the U.S. and specifically in Kansas City kind of follows Kansas City becoming a really hotbed of soccer nationally. And you certainly contributed to that, coaching the women's professional team here. But I'd like to hear your observations of how soccer has grown in Kansas City in your 20 years here.
It's amazing. I mean, when you look around the city, soccer is a topic. I mean, people talk about soccer. 2000, it was different. There was soccer, but not as much. Like right now, I'm pretty sure like most of the families they at least start a little bit in soccer. Some stay a little longer, some a little less. But soccer is a topic in families. And I remember early on when I came, we were talking about how big is soccer going to be, and when is it going to start really making a mark in the community, and not just in this community, but in the States. And my thought was always, when these kids that are playing now soccer have kids on their own, is where soccer is going to be huge. And that is the era. I mean, where those kids that were playing when they were 12, 13, 14, now they start having kids on their own, and that's where you see a big growth. But there's so many other things that help with that. Obviously, Sporting KC has done an amazing job, and with their success, but also with the impact that they have in the community. So they've been great. FC Kansas City, winning 2 championships. Right. They created a buzz in the community, comments, and their success. So soccer is out there pretty much anywhere you turn now.
Think we can handle a World Cup in 2026?
I would love to. Yes, I think that there's no doubt in my mind the community is ready for a big event like that.
Okay. How about the idea of, and I'm sure that's not your call, but maybe I'm wrong about this, the women's team training here at some point?
So the women's team was here last year and
right.
trained for a short period of time. There is a talk about coming back again. And I have nothing to do with it.
But it'd be convenient. Nice
but there's a cycle. There's a cycle that the team has that I think they follow. I can't remember if it was a 12 months or 18 months cycle where they go from one to another city. Except I think LA and New York are out of that cycle. I mean, they get a little more often.
We touched a little bit on this sort of monster that you're taking over, right, and the success they've had. I'm just curious, are there things that you've identified of, here's a new direction, or here's something new that I want us to try, or a new emphasis, anything like that?
Yes, I mean, as a coach, even though they're best, in order to stay the best, you have to keep evolving, because if you stay in the middle lane, people will pass you by. I mean, other countries are getting better. They're investing in women's soccer. They're investing in female soccer in general, in youth soccer everywhere. So we have to stay. We have to change things, not necessarily just because it wasn't good. We have to change so we can stay ahead of them. And it's not that we want to change because the game is evolving and because we want to follow those trends, but we're the leaders in everything. We want to be leaders. We want to implement. We want to be innovative in a way so we can create some of those trends, so other countries are following us, and that's why there are things that we will probably try to implement from the tactical perspective, and from the technical perspective, but also from the organizational perspective in terms of analytics and high performance and nutrition and I don't know what else would be there, like any type, whether it's statistical analysis. So there's so many things that we can change in the approach and in order to stay on top.
One thing people would like to see changed is equal pay. I know you were asked about it at your press conference when you were introduced. And it certainly was a topic during the World Cup. So give us your thoughts.
I said it in the first press conference that I support the push that the players have, because it reflects on the field. I know people always ask, like, how's that reflected on the field? It's like the push that they have reflects on the field positively, because that's who they are. They're competitors. They're fighters. They're resilient. I mean, that's the attitude. That's how they're wired, and that's why I'm supporting that.
All right.
One other thing, just to take you back a little bit, if you don't mind. I'm curious if you could describe the impact of soccer on your childhood and what it was like back home, and if you knew as a boy growing up that you hoped it would be your life forever.
Yeah, so early on, I mean, not just early on, but I played soccer. Started early, played soccer in all my youth. I played in the academy. Obviously, ended up playing professionally there first before I came here. And at that time, it was hobby, became a profession. But now, when I look back, soccer was way of life for me. It's not like it's almost like I didn't have a choice, because in my high school household, my dad was ex-professional soccer player, my brother was professional soccer player, 2 uncles professional coaches. So it was, I mean, 2 of my cousins, one of them professional player, actually ended up professionally. The other was also a soccer player. But in all our family gatherings, every meal we had, soccer was the topic. We talked soccer, we watched soccer. So now looking back, is like, I don't feel like I had a choice. I mean, soccer was a way of life. That's what we were. That's what we're doing. We were playing, talking, watching soccer. That was it. And when I knew that I'm going to be a coach, I always wanted to, and I was always the one kid that just wanted to organize everything, always wanted to put things together, always wanted to outsmart the opponent when we were playing, even on the street. I always had these strategies. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was pretty annoying, and I heard that a lot. But I guess that was just the coaching side in me at that point. And that's why I retired a little bit sooner than I probably could have, but I just wanted to go into coaching.
And when you left to come here, you certainly, I don't think, pictured that you'd be here 20 years later.
No, I came here, I can't remember, it was a short time, but let's say I came here in 6 months, 3 months, whatever it was, and I'm still here in my 3 months.
That's great. Well, as you can tell, Vlatko, we were all over the map with our questions, and thanks for your indulging us with this. Terrific to have you here. Congratulations again on being the U.S. Women's National Team coach. And for Sam and Vahe, that'll do it for us today. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.